Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Downtown Jason Brown, and I'm here to moderate a confrontation between the VWU World Heavyweight Champion, Zaiah and the #1 contender for the VWU World title in Jamal Bedlam. At this time, I would like both men to come out to the ring. Now, Jamal, as we can all see, you are currently holding the VWU World title. But we know that championship does not belong to you, and the board of directors have asked you to return the VWU World title back to Zaiah Steele or face consequences and lose your opportunity at the VWU World title at Prestige.
I already know the deal. Here's your belt back. Wanted to see how you enjoy having your moment stolen from you. And trust me, we'll address the board of directors because there's a caveat that I got out of this. So, we'll discuss that a bit later.
Well,
So that's it. That's the extent of it. He takes my property. He takes the prize that I worked for, by the way. And all he gets is a warning. All he gets is a slap on the wrist. You know what? Shouldn't even really become a surprise at this moment because that's exactly what you've been given this entire ride through. Ever since you stepped foot in VWU, you have gotten every single thing that you've wanted, Jamal. Since day one. Whether it been Bowser, whether it had been Adam Jackpot, whether it had been another authority figure. Hell, if it wasn't even for Ray Geddes, who in the hell would you have been if not another nobody walking into VWU? Answer me that question. Because I can tell you this right now, you wouldn't be the savage that you claim to be. And then you walk around here, walking around with a title belt that I earned. You want to talk about moments being taken away from you. I didn't take away your moment at Prestige. As far as I'm concerned, you weren't the world champion. You walked around proudly holding a paper championship, the interim championship, calling yourself the man when you had done nothing to prove otherwise. You didn't get the job done at Prestige. You didn't pin Sly Cooper. That was me. That was my moment. That was my time. And it was my time that I had earned through years of bloodshed, years of tears, years of people telling me, be this way, be that way. You gotta do this to get to the top. You gotta do that to get what you want. Until I said, fuck all of them. It wasn't until I had let the voices stop consuming me, stop controlling me, where I said enough was enough, and I said screw all of them, and I became what I was supposed to become, and that is the top man in VWU. It wasn't a matter of if, it was always a matter of when. But it wasn't going to be when other people told me to. It wasn't going to be when other people told me that I needed to change something about myself. It was when I finally realized that no one was on my level. Nobody could compete with the King of Death. And that certainly means you. Because you have always been one step below me, Jamal. And I know somewhere deep down in that prideful ego of yours that you know that as well. Because every single time I am just one step ahead of you. And at Prestige, last year, it was no different. Just like this upcoming Prestige, it will be no different. The story stays the same as it always does, Jamal. With me on top and you claiming second place because you don't want this as much as I do. You haven't proven that you want this, that you're willing to do what you need to do to have this. You call yourself a savage, but you don't have the killer instinct. Everything that you claim you are, I am. Everything that you walk around parading to yourself, parading to these people that you claim to be, I have proven it over and over again. Just like at Prestige, I will once again prove it by laying your lifeless body across that canvas, pinning your shoulders to the mat yet again, and with me standing above you with my VW World Championship. And only then will you finally know that you do not match to the King of Death.
You got everything you want off your chest? I want to know if that was everything because, quite frankly, I want you to answer me this question, Zaiah. If I'm second place, how do you explain the fact that since you become the Prince of Death, you have not beaten me, not once? But the Big Steel could beat me, and he did 3 times in a row. But since you've had this change, I've put you down every chance that we fought. And there's a part of you that fears that I could do it again. You might not believe that. You might think this is all ego talking. Okay. Look at Takedown. Look at the takedown that I beat you. Look what happened on UWL. When you tried to take the Adams briefcase from me. And with a single good punch to your temple and a cyclone later, 3-2. Then look at what happened with ROV. Sure, Sly helped out. And I won't say that I wouldn't take advantage of the situation when offered, but hey, it happens. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not second place. You're just trying to take first from me. And since we're going to go on about people who had to push me up to the top, what about you? You needed Kenya Phoenix, Vin Taylor, Malik Brown to help prop you up. Because you didn't have the confidence to carry this brand on your shoulders. I saw you fighting for a fake world title held by a heroin addict. And that annoyed me because you did deserve better to be fighting for something so below you. But you didn't have the guts to take what you needed for yourself. VW didn't have someone like that. So I stepped into that limelight myself. Was it for my ego? Goddamn right. Because like Zach said so many times before, if you're not trying to be the guy, then why are you here? You talk about that, I haven't done anything to be on your level. Really? So we're just going to ignore that was the only reason that hardcore title is being propped up as high as it was. Sly Cooper even had to use the term heart golding the belt. Now, it wouldn't happen just because of some guy you threw up there. It happened because I had the drive to push myself to get to that point. That night at Black Friday when I won the CCL tag and world titles on the same night, that don't just happen because I'm lucky enough or I ain't good enough. It happened because I did what I had to do to get there, much like you did. You know the part that bugged me about Prestige? Had you had pinned me, I'd probably be a little less petty about this. Because I could accept that it wasn't my night. But the fact that you didn't, the fact that I have gotten three pinfalls on you, unchecked, unanswered, and then you go after Sly, it bothered me. Because one, that told me that maybe you're not the never-ending threat. Maybe you're not the king that you claim to be. Maybe there's a part of you that still fears what I am capable of at Prestige. Because out of everyone you fought so far, outside of a various few names, I am one of the few people that you know can take that belt from me. Anybody who's ever been thrown in front of me at this event, at Prestige, I have beaten. Don't believe me? Thanos may have beaten my tail to Kingdom Come at Prestige 2, but he lost at the end of the day. Nathan House tried to take the hardcore title from me. Failed. Reaper X, I cracked his head open. Something that very few people have ever done to him. Even with Prestige 5, if I had kicked out, I might have been one step closer to getting that VWU World title that I have hungered for so much. To you, this is just a king looking to preserve his throne. But to me, this is just a battle of Afro Strong style in full fruition. Funny that I mentioned Afro Strong style considering what that group used to be called. You were the guy who came up with that name for the original group. And I took the bullet for you. You want to know why I did that? Probably because more than anybody else, outside of very few people, I believed in you. And I didn't want you eating crow for something stupid. Talk about I haven't had to go through shit. The amount of shit kicking, the amount of trash talk, the amount of character assassinations, the amount of shit I've had to deal with being associated with the VWU will drive you crazy. You couldn't handle all of that shit, but I did. Whether you want to believe it's selfish or not is up for you to decide. But I ain't come all the way here just to come up short. I didn't do all of this just to come up short at Prestige 6. Everything I've done, whether people want to admit it loud or not, is to bring out the best in everyone I fight. And whether you know it or not, me stealing that belt is why I'm going to get the best out of you. You don't want that to happen again. You're insulted that I took something you worked so hard for. And now you want to make me pay for it. Good. I want that Zaiah Steel Prestige 6. Because if I get anything less than that, then I'm going to leave you flat on your back. And I'm going to walk out, not only with the VW World title, but I'm going to leave you more embarrassed than the Golden State Warriors when they choked the 3-1 lead. Are you trying to be that guy who took the 3-0 lead to Jamal Bedlam? Because you know what's going to happen if you fail. You're going to return to that unconfident young man that you once were, having to be pulled back up by his bootstraps. But I hope you're ready for me at Prestige 6. I really hope you are. Because as a part of me giving that belt back to you, there was a stipulation that I got to pick. Go on, Zaiah. Ask me what it is. Or, matter of fact, guess what it is.
I can only take a guess, huh? Knowing you, it's probably within your own range, something that you'd find yourself most comfortable in. So, was it probably no holds barred? Wow, what about an unsanctioned last man standing, perhaps? Maybe you want to put us in a steel cage so we can't hurt anybody but each other. Is that about it?
We'll go even a step further. Vincent Cipriani and Matt Farrell fought in a match at this very event that altered their careers. One for the better and one for the worst. And only in this environment is where you and I can settle our grudge. So I have 4 words for you. Last man in hell. You want to stop me from taking what's yours? You have to beat me in an environment where few can truly thrive when it comes to me. You've seen firsthand the damage I am capable of doing in that type of match. 6 men have tried to beat me in that match and failed. Only 2 have survived. And one of those 2 is a man that you've teamed up with. But no amount of life Malik can give you can never truly prepare you for what I'm willing to do against you. For what I'm expecting from you is probably going to be every bit as bad as what I'm willing to do to you. I expect that I'm going to bleed. I expect that there's going to be intense burning pain from all the blood and sweat mixing from my head. I expect that you're going to do everything in your power to knock me out for a count of 10. But I hope you know I am more than capable of doing the same. Not just cracking skulls, but ending careers. Are you prepared for the worst, Mr. Steele? Are you prepared for the possibility that I may push that button?
You want to go ahead and ask me, insult me, saying, am I prepared to do what I must? Am I prepared for something like last man in hell? Jamal, let me tell you this. Man to man, face to face. Every day I wake up in hell. Every single moment of my life is hell. Every single time that I hold this, it is hell. But it is a hell that I am most familiar with. It is a hell that I have grown accustomed to, and it is a hell that I thrive in. You will come to see at Prestige that when it is just the 2 of us locked inside of that hellacious structure, and that there is nothing anybody can do to stop us from being the wild, vicious animals that we know we are, you will find out that there is only one true alpha, that there is only one man capable enough of being the undisputed king of hell. And that just so happens to be your forever VWU World Champion, the King of Death, Zaiah Steele.
I'm glad you're ready. I hope you know that won't come very easy. I know it's cliche coming from me, but with everything I've dealt with over my time here in Virtual Wrestling United, not even just in Virtual Wrestling United, but under the Call Stars umbrella, I hope you know that I don't intend on letting you get that so easily. You will prepare for you to bleed, for you to sweat, for the pain that comes with that to come rushing over you. Everything that I've ever put myself through was for the sake of improving the circumstances that I found myself in when I was younger. When I didn't have the great role models that a lot of people used to have growing up. All the strife of having your father walk around pretending like he's a great man when he was out here selling drugs, killing men, and just pretending to hide that from you. Then one moment later, when you have to strike your own father down, he nearly tries to end your life. There's not a single person that I would wish that kind of misery on. But it's that very misery that gives me the strength to do what I do. Everything I've done, even the mind games, even the stealing of a belt, even the cosplay, I do it to bring the best out of everyone I fight. And I hope I get the best out of you. Because if you can beat me in that environment, you'll get the respect from me that you feel like you've earned. That I can guarantee you. But like I said, I would not make it easy. For you are in the position that I was in at Call All Stars 11. John was the guy that I needed to push me to the next level. And whether you want to admit it or not, I'm the guy that you need to push you even further than what you are right now. So hold on to that title. Hold on to it tightly. Hold it with the strength of the grip of death itself. Because even you, the king of death, or right now, the prince, even you ain't immune to death itself.